Yo, what is good, Jets Nation? Welcome back to Jets Media. This is Richie, and today I want to focus in on Garrett Wilson because there is a lot of hype around the NFL about the year two player out of Ohio State. A lot of people, the national media, of course us Jets fans, and even fans across the NFL world have such high expectations for Garrett Wilson. And in this video, I want to break down my thoughts. Is it possible for Garrett Wilson to ascend as a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL this season in only his second season in the NFL? Now, I think it is possible. And in this video, I'm going to break down why. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I got a lot of Jets content coming your way right when training camp opens up, which is next week. The season is finally coming upon us, Jets fans. So let's get hyped up. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. And comment down below your thoughts of Garrett Wilson in the comment section, your overall expectations for him. Is he being overhyped, or do you think he's actually going to live up to the hype of going nuclear in year 2 with the New York Jets with Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback? So let's get right into it. But first, I do want to show you guys some of the national media hype that I'm talking about. So here's PFF. I've been seeing PFF and other national media outlets tweet this out pretty much daily, every other day. Name a player who will jump into superstar status next season with just a photo of Garrett Wilson. Yep, they're predicting Garrett Wilson to be that superstar. They also, in their fantasy football account, they write, name a year 2 wide receiver going nuclear next season. Garrett Wilson. Now, it's just consistent for PFF to continue the hype of Garrett Wilson. And I think us Jets fans, we have been waiting so long for a wide receiver that we drafted ourselves to develop into our number 1 receiver. Last year, we were talking about trading for this wide receiver, trading for Tyreek, trading for Debo, trading for DK, trading for A.J. Brown. Want to know why? Because the Jets needed a number 1 receiver. But instead, they decided to not trade for one, and they will draft one in the draft. And that so happened to be Garrett Wilson, who goes out there and wins Offensive Rookie of the Year with 3 quarterbacks in a rotation, putting up 1,100 plus yards and 4 touchdowns. You can only imagine what Garrett Wilson is going to do with Aaron Rodgers. Now, a big reason why I believe Garrett Wilson is going to live up to the hype that everybody is putting him in is because Aaron Rodgers historically is known to be a quarterback to force feed his number 1 option. Now, Davante Adams comes to mind, right? You see Aaron Rodgers' back-to-back MVP seasons 3 years and 2 years ago. Davante Adams had a lot to do with it. And the chemistry between Adams and Rodgers was serious. And we have heard Aaron Rodgers compare Davante Adams to Garrett Wilson so many times, and I think that Garrett Wilson has the ability to get that same type of connection with Aaron Rodgers, and it all is going to come down to pre-snap and really just being on the same page. The defense is showing you this. Aaron Rodgers looks at Garrett Wilson and gives him a little hand signal, and Garrett knows exactly what to do. That's what's going to take that duo to another level. Aaron Rodgers, he spreads the ball around, of course, but he loves to focus in on his high talented receiver, and Garrett Wilson fits that mold. And if you look at the receivers around Garrett Wilson, we got a red zone threat in Allen Lazard, who I think is going to be really impactful in the red zone for the Jets this season. Corey Davis is a solid veteran that's going to be back with the Jets this season. McCole Hardman, the speedster. Randall Cobb, the veteran. We still got other players still competing for the roster, but Garrett Wilson is obviously the best receiver on this Jets football team, and Aaron Rodgers is going to feed him the ball. Now, what makes Garrett Wilson so special talent-wise is definitely his elusiveness, his speed, his ability. I like to use the word slippery because every time Garrett Wilson touched the ball last season, it felt like he made the first guy miss just by simply planting his foot in the ground and just absolutely juking him out of his shoes or just breaking tackles. He has great balance. He has great body control as well. He's kind of like a ballerina up there when he jumps up to high point the ball for a 50-50 ball. I mean, there's nothing that Garrett Wilson doesn't have. And I think what we saw from Garrett Wilson in year number 1 is the reason why the whole NFL world has such high expectations for Garrett Wilson entering year number 2 because of the addition of Aaron Rodgers. If it wasn't for Aaron Rodgers being here, people will be thinking, yeah, Garrett Wilson, Offensive Rookie of the Year, he's going to be better in year 2. But since we have Aaron Rodgers, that is the reason why everybody is talking about Garrett Wilson to ascend into superstar status. Now, if you look at other receivers around the NFL, wide receivers that is going to have to be just as good as or better than in order to be a top 5, top 10 receiver. Jamar Chase is a receiver that was elite right out of the gate. Justin Jefferson, a wide receiver that was elite right out of the gate. Both of those receivers were drafted in the first round. So that is the type of talent that I'm expecting Garrett Wilson to become. A 10th overall pick, those wide receivers in today's NFL, they're great right away if it all pans out. And I think that Garrett Wilson has a chance to replicate what Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson have been doing. Not going to sit here and say that he's going to win Offensive Player of the Year and he's going to put up 1,800 yards and 15 touchdowns. That's not what I'm saying. My stat prediction for Garrett Wilson is around 1,300 to 1,400 yards, 90-plus receptions, and like 8 to 10 touchdowns. That is a season where it will ascend him as a superstar. It will send him as one of the better receivers in football. And bro, he's only 22 years old, turning 23, I believe, and the future is bright. So let me know your thoughts of Garrett Wilson down below in the comment section. I love talking about Garrett because he has so much hype around the NFL, and I thought I had to make a video because as a Jets fan, seeing so much hype around one of our draft picks entering year number 2, it's just a beautiful thing. And hey, we didn't even mention Sauce Gardner, who, by the way, is being ranked as the best corner in the league by a lot. If not the best, the second best. And we'll make a separate video about that. So let me know your thoughts, guys. Hit that thumbs up button. Garrett Wilson's about to go crazy. Make sure you draft him in your fantasy leagues because you're definitely going to want him. I'll catch you guys next time, and let's go Jets. Peace out.